Yo, what's up guys? Let me holla at you real quick. It's recently come to my attention that most of my viewers aren't actually subscribed to the channel. So if you enjoy listening to me yap about random ass subjects and going on tirades about my favorite things, be sure to hit that little subscribe button. I'd appreciate it deeply, and I'll do my very best to keep bringing y'all content that you enjoy watching. That, and it'll hopefully help me work towards getting better equipment, because believe it or not, making videos on an iPhone is pretty damn hard, gang, I can't lie. Anyways, shameless plug out of the way, let's get started with the video. I used to be what many people call a D1 hater. If I saw a popular piece of media that a lot of people liked but I thought was cringe, young Cam's Holiday would go out of his way to hate on them without hesitation, because in my stupid ass 15-year-old mind, I thought that shit was cool to do. That sentiment lingered in me for quite a while, but slowly began to subside and fade away, both as I got older and more mature, and as I found myself surrounded by more people of said cringe nature who just so happened to be my closest friends. And so that all came to a head when recently a friend of mine convinced me to hop in a Discord call with them and a few other homies to watch a certain show. A show that I took great pleasure in dunking on every chance I got without having any prior experience with it. And that show was Has Been Hotel. This show was probably the biggest catalyst behind my hating ass escapades, as considering when the pilot came out and the fan base made itself known across the wider internet, I would point and laugh like the lame ass kid I was. We watched it, we had a couple laughs, I cringed a little more, but overall. Yes, drive louder, please, I want you to drive louder. Anyway, for all intents and purposes, it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool, it wasn't too bad, you know what I mean? But don't get it twisted, it was certainly not perfect.
Adam, sir. Mr. Adam, sir.
Call me Dickmaster.
But that's for another video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna save myself the migraine for now. But all that aside, I had an epiphany after we got done watching. And it was that for all intents and purposes, the people who enjoy this show are just regular chill people who are passionate about a thing they like. They have their quirks like most people do, but overall they weren't the weirdos that I originally painted them to be for just enjoying their interests. And then it hit me. Damn. I'm a fucking lame-o, bro. And that was the moment I realized that cringe culture is possibly the single most idiotic and lame-ass thing to ever come from internet culture as a whole. What's up? I'm Cam's Holiday, and you're about to listen to me yap about cringe culture and why it's stupid. Let's get into it. The act of going out of your way to bully a group of individuals for simply having an interest and enjoying something that they like is by and large one of the most childish things you can do as an individual, no matter how corny or cringeworthy said interest may be to you. This widespread behavior and phenomenon has been dubbed as cringe culture by the wider internet, and as I've explained so far, it essentially entails singling out communities and pointing and laughing at them for being weird or quirky. So it's basically bullying with a few extra steps. The scariest thing about cringe culture to me is a shocking amount of people tend to view it as cool or based, God, I fucking hate that word, to partake in the harassment of individuals who like things that they deem as weird or stupid. As I mentioned in the Gacha game video, the lockdown that happened from 2020 to 2023 has essentially made a lot of people extremely socially inept, both IRL and online. It's also made a lot of people incredibly shameless, somehow thinking that just outwardly bullying people is a chill and socially acceptable thing to do. Spoiler alert, it's not, you dumbass nigga. Everyone is passionate about something to some extent, but just because you wake up one day and decide that something is weird and people should be made fun of for liking it, doesn't mean that it's weird and people should be made fun of for liking it. Like, what are we talking about right now? Prime example. I am extremely passionate about Kingdom Hearts. It is my favorite video game franchise of all time, and I feel confident saying that I'll probably play it until I die. Sora is my favorite fictional character. I love the gameplay, I love the art style, I love the characters. It is just something that I love and am passionate about. Now let's talk about another person. We're gonna call him Scott. Scott is really big into Undertale. He's been a fan of it ever since he was a kid, and has always been deeply invested in its world, characters, writing, etc. Now, I want you to tell me, what is the difference between my interests and Scott's interests? Go on, I'll give you a second. Do you have your answer? Good, because I'm ready to tell you right now, literally nothing. We're both passionate about different things, but the only difference is that a certain group of people likes to call one cringe without any logical merit or reasoning. Well, I guess that's not entirely true, because I do see a lot of Kingdom Hearts. Yo, if you're a Kingdom Hearts hater, bro, I just want to tell you personally and formally, sleep with one eye open tonight. You are not safe. I just want to tell you right now again, you have a good day, bro. It is just unprompted, unwarranted, childish as hell behavior. And one of the funniest parts to me is that most of the time, these people that y'all are targeting don't even be worried about you or be bothering anyone else. So you're just in this constant cycle of hating on someone because they're having fun and enjoying themselves, simultaneously exposing your own immaturity and wasting your own time. But like, dude, I assure you, the Steven Universe fans that you're poking fun at in a TikTok comment section are not gonna be thinking about you in 24 hours. Like, let's be real with ourselves here. I feel I should also say, I'm not saying that certain communities shouldn't be criticized. I think quite the opposite, actually. If I had $1 for every time I caught a Zenless Zone Zero fan being a freakazoid or a Dead by Daylight player crashing out whenever someone looks at them the wrong way, I wouldn't be making this video on an iPhone right now. But calling out a community for poor behavior and just bullying them unprompted are two entirely different things on two entirely different sides of the spectrum. I also think one of the biggest factors in this whole cringe culture thing is people's supposed notion that everything should be tailored for them and everything should be made to resonate with them, even if this sentiment is never said out loud. Now, what I'm about to say doesn't just apply to media, but it applies to most things in life. You as an individual aren't going to like everything, and not everything in life is created with the purpose of resonating with you. And that is perfectly okay, but that doesn't give you the right to go around being a negative ass Nancy about everything you don't enjoy, and that especially doesn't give you the right to make a pariah and a joke out of the people who enjoy said things. It's crazy that in this day and age, that's something that has to be actively pointed out to people, and even worse, to grown ass adults. Like this shit is truly unfathomable, bro. Now, I feel as if I've only really scratched the surface of how far people are willing to take these sort of harassments. Sure, people can make fun of other people for no reason, and that'll make them a top tier keyboard warrior by default. But what if you wanted to graduate to full-on special grade professional bump? There have been a few instances that I have witnessed in recent times where certain content creators will get relentlessly and unjustly bullied and ran off the internet simply because they said something small or just simply enjoyed creating their content. The two worst examples of this that I've seen are two content creators by the name of Joe Cat and Jellybean. One made a dumb little song about how much he likes girls, in which case he just like me for real, bro. And the other was simply making the content that they enjoyed making, both of which were bullied off the internet simply because people labeled them as cringe. What? And I started thinking to myself, man, what did they do to make them niggas that mad? These are genuinely the worst kind of people, as they will not only take great pleasure in bullying people off of their platforms, but will actively celebrate when it seems like they're about to be called out for something. Now, I am more than well aware that the people that act like this are sweaty, raunchy, single brain cell, chronically online people. But I have my own personal theory as to why some people choose to act this way, but I can't tell you yet. We got a bumper to do. I personally believe the reason why some people choose to participate in cringe culture and hating all ties back to one singular thing, and that thing is comfort. As I mentioned previously, the lockdown that occurred in the early 2020s severely crippled a lot of people's social skills, but I think a factor that a lot of people tend to skim over is just how comfortable we all were during the lockdown. Constantly in the safety of our own homes, not having to deal with people face to face for 3 years consecutively, people have become all too accustomed and comfortable with this, so much so that they believe bullying people online for no apparent reason is acceptable behavior. I also think that these same people are so extremely used to being comfortable that the mere sight or mention of something that even has the remote possibility to threaten that comfort, or in this case make them cringe, is immediately met with hostility and bitterness. Hating and bullying has almost become somewhat of a coping mechanism for some people, causing them to search for reasons to be mad at people and media just so they can feel secure about their own comfortability. I also think the desire to not be outcasted or viewed differently by others around them is also a huge factor in why people participate in this kind of behavior, which also makes sense to me as an explanation because, that peer pressure got some kick to it, dog. I can't lie. But even with all that in mind, their behavior is still entirely their fault, and it is on them for allowing themselves to think that acting in such a manner is at all okay. It is genuinely childish behavior, but it is perpetuated by people making a joke and a spectacle of others in a mean-spirited manner, inspiring other dumbasses to do the exact same thing. I cannot believe this is a thing that has to be said, but people should really start treating each other how they want to be treated. I am 110% sure that you would not want anyone to shit on you and bully you for simply liking something that you enjoy. So why you think it's okay to do it to other people is beyond me, big fella. The final thing I want to touch on is the ramifications that cringe culture has had on communities and just people in general. Once again, speaking from personal experience, after participating in cringe culture from about the ages of 12 to 16, I genuinely thought I was immune to that shit, man. I thought, ain't nobody gonna get me for that. Ain't nobody gonna roast me because I ain't cringe like everybody else. And then it happened to me. I was in a PlayStation party with some kids from school, and I ended up telling the other guys how much I loved Adventure Time, my favorite show of all time. And when I tell you I got cooked, nigga, I mean deep fried, pan seared even, possibly even butter basted. I got chewed the fuck up, bro. And that kind of incident happened a few times after that, and then it got to a point to where I just don't tell many people about my passions and my interests anymore, save for close friends and a few family members. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because this sort of thing isn't just limited to me. While yes, I still see fan bases online talking about the things that they like with great pleasure, I overall see a bit less enthusiasm and willingness to be open about that kind of thing, both from what I've seen online and from a good many personal interactions that I've had. Cringe culture has caused people to become reclusive and shy about what they like. And that's fucking heartbreaking, man. It makes it even more frustrating that people take such joy in doing things like this. And even though cringe culture as we know it now may be dying out, it will come back as it has many times before. Leafy is here. You ruined a whole generation. I just want you to know. It does soothe my mind a little bit to know that people are much more vocal about shutting that shit down and calling people out for it, and rightfully so. But for some people, it has been a permanently damaging thing that has killed their drive outright to be open about what they love. And that right there is probably the biggest tragedy to come out of cringe culture. All my rambling aside, this has been a topic that I have become very serious about in recent times. I personally believe that people should be free to enjoy what they like and express their passion without some asshole coming in and making them feel ashamed for doing so. For anyone who has ever been on the receiving end of this, please don't be ashamed of yourself, dog. You are a human being that deserves love and respect, and you have no reason to feel ashamed for being yourself, and that's facts on God, bro. And for all the people who are participating in said behavior, grow the hell up, man. I am 110% sure that you would be appalled and offended if someone were to treat you in the same way. So it makes very little sense for you to be doing the same thing, big fella. I ain't gonna lie. Stop spreading hate. Show some love. It don't cost nothing to show a nigga some love, nigga. Anyway, that concludes today's yapping session. Everybody drink your water, keep being yourself, and have yourself a good day. I'm out of here.